What's poppin'? I'm Gypsy. If you're one of my usual pretty people that come over here, thanks for tuning in again. If you're not, make sure you subscribe by the end of this video because you're definitely going to want to stay in tune with everything that's going on over here. What's going on, you guys? Y'all, I'm about to lose my mind. I'm having a moment that I have never really had when it comes to Mattel. Guess what? We have so much to discuss right now, so try to follow what I'm saying, okay? First of all, when you go to Mattel's website and you click on this tab where you can go ahead and look at the Barbie Basics You Create kits. So when you clicked on kit number 1, when it was in pre-order stage, it said that it was going to ship on or before April 4th. When you went to kit number 2, it said the expected ship date was going to be April 26th, I think. And for kit number 3, again, it was supposed to be April 4th. Well, bruh, we got another at least week left in the month, and you can already add them to your bag and get the fastest of shipping if you would like, which does cost more money, of course, but you have that option available to you if you're trying to get these dolls. I was part of the pre-order bunch, so I was expecting for my dolls to not show up until sometime in April, but look what Mattel said to me. They sent me an email to let me know that my package was already on the way. So when I went to the tracking, it's telling me Friday, March 21st by the end of the day, which for me is tomorrow as I'm filming this, that these dolls are going to be on my doorstep. Will they? I don't know. But I got the 2-day shipping from Mattel just to test it out because I've never used their 2-day shipping before, and usually I get their standard shipping, which is with FedEx, and it takes forever for the stuff to get to me. It's such a headache. So with these dolls, I didn't even want to be bothered. I'm already spending over $100 with tax to get the dolls. So I said, screw it. Let me just try out their 2-day shipping just to say I've done it. So that if it's any better or worse than what you would normally get with standard, then at least I'll know I'm not missing anything. So I did try it out. Supposedly it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So as soon as I get my dolls, I will be showing you guys the first look on them and opening them on camera with you guys. I don't know what time of the day it's gonna be, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the video up fast enough if I get it like in the evening, you know, because I still have to edit the video. But as soon as possible is when you're gonna see it here, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss nothing. Here's another thing. I talked to Carlisle Nuera. I asked him to clarify the head sculpt names because you see on the website it says the face sculpt names Min, Rose, Caro, but it doesn't tell you which heads are Min, Rose, or Caro. Like, how I'm supposed to know which one is which? I told him, you know, fans are concerned because we don't know how to identify which dolls go with the face sculpts. He told me that he was planning on making a post on his Instagram where he's going to be naming all of the head sculpts for people, but I mean the dolls are already on their way. So I'll reach out to him again to see if I can prompt him to make the post a little bit sooner or to at least send me the names of the dolls, but he's a very busy person. I'm just sharing with you guys what he told me so that you guys can be on the lookout if you're trying to learn the names of these head sculpts. I know I am. As soon as I find out, I'll be sure to make a post here or to upload a video to let you guys know what I learned about the sculpt names, of course, because we love to study sculpts over on Broken Dolly TV. So again, if that's something you're into, make sure you're subscribed. Let's talk about some of the concerns that I have about these dolls as I'm preparing to add them to my collection. I thought because they were supposed to be coming out in April that I had some time to prepare myself for the level of customizing that I'm probably going to have to do to be able to display my dolls. Because this is the thing about dolls like this. They have never been done. Like, I'm actually like nerve-wracked. I've never felt nervous about seeing a new doll. Like, does that sound weird? I'm nervous. That doesn't even make any sense, right? But I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's true. But this is the reason why I have so many concerns about the level of customizing that I'm going to have to do before these dolls are ready to be put on a shelf for display. And mainly that has to do with the fact that they're coming to me bald. Yes, they have wigs, but we already know what it is with these wigs, right? I tell myself I'm going to end up having to root somebody. I'm just going to end up having to do it, and there's just no way around it. This kit is designed for people who are into heavy customizing, so you kind of knew what you was getting yourself into if you bought these dolls. Like, you can't really complain about them not being display ready as soon as you get them, because that's the whole point about customizing, is that you're changing the doll up to your liking before you put them out on display. And it's kind of like going around in a circle, sort of, because you want the option of being able to customize a doll, but normally even the dolls that we do like to customize, they are display ready for the most part when we purchase the dolls. So you're kind of getting both, in that you can put the doll on display as is, or you can choose, you don't have to, but you can choose to change the doll up a little bit before you display the dolls. With these dolls, it ain't like that. Their heads don't even come attached to the bodies. You gotta make a decision when you pull them out the box. Okay, which head is gonna go on which body before you even put any clothes on a doll? Just nude. Who gets what body? You know what I mean? So it's a kind of experience that I think is gonna be like none other that we've had with modern Barbie dolls, and that fresh out of the box, they're coming in pieces. There's no right or wrong way to put the doll together. You really have to use your imagination at this stage to figure out how you want your first You Create Barbie Basics doll to be in its most naked, stripped down basic stage. Just the head and the body alone. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying right now? I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand what I'm talking about. Yo, if you are a customizer, just that alone is like so much thinking you have to do already. How am I supposed to choose which head has to, and then I have Barbie Basics kit model number 1 in my collection right now. She is supposed to be matching this line, so I can't even consider which heads go on which body without adding a whole nother extra doll into the mix. So now instead of choosing between these 3 dolls and sculpts, I gotta choose between 4 to decide. Do I want to keep Kit on her original body that she came with, or do I want to swap her around with somebody in this, group? What in the world? That's a lot. I already feel like I'm like giving myself an anxiety attack, and we've only got started talking about this topic, you guys. There's so much more we need to get into in this conversation, okay? We're gonna talk about Aaliyah at the end of this, so stay tuned. The durability of the neck joint. So of course we are trying to figure out if this new head swap feature, is it sturdy enough to last long, or is it going to be prone to looseness over time? We do have people complaining that some of their doll heads are a little loose on these new neck pegs. Now, if you haven't already seen it, make sure you go and check out my neck peg tutorial where I show you guys how to duplicate the system with your existing dolls in your collection. But the way I'm doing it, because you have control over how small you're making the neck pegs, you can eliminate the problem of the head being wobbly. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. I'm saying like the version that Mattel has given us is only one standard size. The version that you can make for yourself, you can change up the size as needed, if that makes sense. If you want to be able to have that kind of control and you want to learn a very simple modification, there's so many uses for being able to swap the heads easily. So please go and check out that video. I'll have it linked in the description box and at the end of this video so you can easily find it, and just take a look just to see, just so you have it in the back of your head, like, okay, so this is how you do it. It's just one of those things that every customizer should know how to do, even if they never use it. So of course, people are going to be wanting to test these new neck pegs out with a bunch of other dolls that they have that have the same skin tones. And now that you have 3 new body donors just sitting on your table, how could you resist? But yeah, for the people who are generally asking, do these neck peg systems work with older Barbies? The general answer is yes, it does work. People are asking silly questions like, if the old heads can fit onto the new necks, then how do we know the new heads can fit onto the old necks? Like, bro, y'all, that's not how math works, okay? If the old heads can fit onto the new neck pegs, then clearly, because the old heads have the same hole size as the new doll's head, which is why it fits, the new doll's head is going to fit onto the old body. Like, just common sense, people. Come on. This is why I get frustrated when I talk to people, because I be just looking at them like, really? This is a real question you have? Did you think before you asked this question? Stop it. They work both ways. The new heads fit on the old bodies, the old heads fit on the new bodies, okay? The only time that it's not gonna fit is if the whole size in your doll's head is too big, which Mattel sometimes creates dolls that have really big heads. Sometimes it's like, you know, when you look at the dolls' heads, how they're all different sizes. The collector dolls have smaller heads, and then like fashionistas and playline dolls sometimes have bigger heads. Some of those heads have big holes on the inside, so those won't necessarily fit without wobbling. That's the exception. So just check the hole sizes inside the dolls' heads before you try them if you want to see. But generally they are going to fit, and there are little fixes you can do to minimize that wobbling problem as well. Now, another concern I'm having is the clothing. Do the clothes that are in these kits, are they going to fit properly on each of the body types? You know, the Barbie Basics dolls that were released, part of their gimmick, I guess if you want to call it that, was that each of the dolls' dresses were supposed to be interchangeable on each other and fit all of the body types. When we looked at promo shots, we were very concerned because we were like, some of these clothes look kind of baggy-licious. So we had to try the dresses on everybody. For the most part, they do all fit on each other. Everything is stretchy. However, some things are extremely tight and rise up on the bodies if you put them onto a curvy doll because they came with very short, you know, pieces. Some of the clothes were a little bit baggy on the petite doll. So it's not bad. You can work with it, but you know, the fits are not necessarily the same across the board. You feel me? So when I'm looking at pictures of these dolls' clothes, I can tell that the material that the clothing is made from is very similar to the dresses that we got. But I do see some slight differences in material. Like for instance, this skirt that comes with kit number 3. She's got some type of meshy looking thing on the side of the skirt. This one, it's got like a pencil skirt kind of shape at the end. So I'm hoping that that fabric is going to stretch enough that if you need to put a curvier doll in there, it's going to fit the body type okay. So I'm not sure. In these promo pictures, I don't see that skirt being put onto the curvy body. So will it work? We don't know. How about here? Did they put it on the curvier doll? No, they didn't. But okay, so it looks like the meshy skirt does fit on the curvy leg. So yeah, we're gonna have to, you know, look and see. And then like the boots. To me, these boots look so extra baggy and bulky on everybody but the curvy dolls. And we already know curvy and tall dolls have bigger feet than petite and original body types. And they're supposed to be sharing their shoes. And there's only 3 pairs. So, like, is one of these shoes going to be the extra big pair that can't fit onto, like, you know what I'm saying? Everything isn't necessarily going to fit every doll in the group, even though they're supposed to be all part of the same kit and you're supposed to be able to interchange everything. I don't really know. These shoes that have, like, an open back here, maybe you can get away with sharing between the 2 feet sizes. But, like, is this going to piss people off if... like these clogs here, what do you call those things? I'm calling them clogs. I know that's not what they're called. But anyways, the little black shoes on the platforms. If you can't get your 2 different feet sizes into those shoes, is it gonna feel like a total waste that like that limitation exists? These are the kinds of things that I'm worrying about as far as how customizable really are these kits. You know what I mean? Bruh, am I the only one? And then with the earrings too. You know, with Barbie Basics, if you've been watching my updates on all the different customizing I've been doing with my Barbie Basics dolls, I've shown you guys that the earrings do not fit on each of the dolls in the line, the 5 dolls that already came out. You cannot switch their earrings around with each other universally because some of the dolls have bigger ear holes than others and the pegs are different sizes. So some dolls can switch earrings with each other, but some cannot. This is outrageous to me. Like, bro, why you guys did not put the earring holes at a universal size? What is happening? And I'm seeing that with these dolls, it's possible that their ears are not all pierced to the same degree. So like some of their earrings, they're not gonna fit onto the existing Barbie Basics dolls that were released in wave 1 with the first 5 models. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Like the whole point of this kit is supposed to be that they're super customizable. Do you know, on main, like, is it just me? So, I don't know about you guys, but these are the kinds of things that are just making me kind of nervous as I'm preparing myself for receiving these dolls. And so many questions that are just like flying around in my brain that I need answers to right now. Like, I'm not gonna be able to explore all of these things in just one sitting. So, that means I'm gonna have to like spend time basically getting to know the functionality of these dolls and its customizing ability, and also familiarizing myself with the fit of the clothing and the versatility of all of the pieces outside of the head and the body that the dolls are coming with that we need to explore. Of course, these pieces will be usable with things we already have in our doll collection as is, minus the wigs maybe. But I do have another doll here that is already kind of bald, and I want to see how the wigs are going to look on her too. So I think I'm going to try it out just to see if we can use it outside of this line as well. And I think some of you guys already have some bald dolls too, or dolls that have very low flocked hair. And maybe we can try these on dolls like that and somehow salvage the usability of the wigs. Also, maybe the wigs can be a little more camouflaged if you're styling them with hats or accessories to cover up the bulkiness of the front of the head. Like, look at this thing. It is literally a hair hat. What in the world? If she had on like a beanie, then it would probably be a lot less distracting. I do have dolls that have very big hair, but like the hairline doesn't look like it's floating on the top of its head. I don't know. We're gonna have to do some comparisons with these wigs on to other dolls that I have that have big hair, because just the wiggleliciousness of it. Be honest, tell me in the comments if they hadn't mentioned that these dolls came with wigs and you only saw these promo pictures, would you have just assumed, just from looking at the pictures, that they were wearing wigs? Would you just be like, wow, they really densely rooted this doll? Or would you be looking at these dolls going, is that a wig? You know, I wonder about that. Are we just biased because we know that these are wigs? What do you guys think? Be honest. Tell me in the comments. Would you have even known the difference if people weren't actively pointing out that the dolls have wigs on? Me personally, I think I would have noticed. I think I would have looked at these pictures and been like, dang, that's a lot of forehead. Why her hair start way back there and the rooting just looks so close together. Like, this is like not customary Mattel type rooting. In this picture, this one doesn't look too bad, but am I being distracted by the fact that she's got sunglasses in her hair? Because I do this with my dolls. I put sunglasses in their hair as a hair accessory rather than on their face. I don't like to cover up their eyes. And when I look at this picture, I don't necessarily think, oh, well, damn, when I go close up like this, But I'm just saying, just off rip, I wouldn't have necessarily been like, dang, that's a big old wig. You know what I mean? But like I said, I ordered kit number 1 mainly because the wigs looked less distracting in these promo shots for me. They looked like possibly I could work with it. So I said, I'll take a chance. But I'm just saying, if nobody had told you that these were wigs, would you have just assumed that off the rip? So I'm very nervous to see how my reaction is going to be with these wigs out of the box, especially when they haven't been sitting on the doll's head and hasn't really settled because you haven't really done anything with it yet. You haven't brushed it, haven't manipulated it. Straight out the box, how wigglicious really are they gonna be? I'm concerned. I think if you are the kind of person who just loves to fuss with your dolls when you take them out of the box initially, right? Like Barbie Nation, if you guys follow that channel, my homeboy Aryan, when he deboxes a lot of his dolls, just straight up, he ends up having to do a good deal of customizing because the theme of his doll collection is pastels. So if the doll he buys does not already come pastelified, he gonna have to do that anyway. So a lot of times he puts a lot of work and effort into totally making over his dolls before they ever hit a shelf for display, and he's just used to doing that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're the kind of collector who does it like that, I think this will be less anxious for you to deal with because you're already used to having to do this. But someone like me, I'm so impatient. Like, soon as I take you out the box, I want to put you in some clothes that I like. You know, I almost always take their original clothes off other than to take some pictures. And then throw you in something I like. Maybe just brush your hair. I usually just keep my doll's hair loose if they came with loose hair. But if it's tied, I almost always take the hair down from the original hairstyle and change it. So that's about the heaviest level of customizing that I'm really doing with my dolls. When I first take them out and get them ready for an initial display, this feels like a lot of work I'm gonna have to do just to get one completed doll out of the kit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so impatient when it comes to trying to like enjoy my dolls ready for display. And then we have to wonder, is this price justifiable for what you're getting? Is the value of these dolls really there at $100 for the 3 dolls and everything it comes with once they're already dressed and put together and styled? You know, when they're all like this, let's say you style your dolls just like this setup right here that we're looking at. When you have them ready for display, is this looking at you on your shelf gonna make you feel like satisfied that you spent $100 on these? Or are you gonna feel like, that's all I get? I mean, I'm really curious to see. I feel like everyone who gets this is gonna have a different feeling. Some people are gonna have instant buyer's remorse, you know, because how much you enjoy these dolls is gonna be based on how much you like to customize and how good you are at customizing, because that's a whole nother thing. Just because I like tinkering with dolls don't mean I'm even any good at it. Like, put me in front of a sewing machine and tell me to make some clothes for my dolls. When I get through, y'all gonna be looking at me like, dang, sis. Ooh, the struggle is real, you know? And I'm gonna look at my clothes that I made and be like, I mean, it took me about 7 hours to make this shirt. Maybe this is just not the craft for me. So, but if you're the kind of person who loves to sew, that's a whole different story. You could just slap something together, lickety split like my son, and have your dolls looking exclusive and all these nice one-of-a-kind clothing pieces. Okay, everything is not for everybody. You know, that's kind of like part of the reason why I'm nervous, because I'm not a rerouter. I know how to reroute, but I don't have the patience for it. Like, it just drives me insane when I'm trying to reroute dolls. They don't come with pre-made holes in the head, so you have to literally pierce the doll's head everywhere that you want to put plugs, draw on your hairline, paint the hair color onto the scalp. It's like it's steps before you even get to the part where you're poking the hair through the holes. Holy freaking moly, just talking about it is making me anxious. Like, I need time to prepare, and they're just gonna come tomorrow. What am I gonna do, right? I'm sad I'm not gonna be satisfied looking at them either in their bald state or with wigs on their heads. Like, I can't deal with that feeling of feeling like they're incomplete, they're not ready, there's nothing I could do anytime soon to get them together. That feeling is making me like have an aversion to looking at these dolls. Okay, I'm getting another idea as I'm looking at this picture. You see the way that the cap is constructed here when we do a close-up? I wonder if it's possible to pluck some of the hair or cut out some of the hair to reduce the bulkiness, or if you're just kind of stuck with it because the hair is on a cap and the cap itself is thick, so like that's why it's adding all of the, you know, bulkiness to the way the wig fits on the doll's head. I'm just wondering, I don't know, my brain is always trying to solve a puzzle, thank you autism. So the hair is probably very good quality saran hair, which we all love. The only issue with it is really that it's on a wig cap. So I'm wondering if you could just reduce manually the bulk here. Oh gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. If you could reduce the bulk in the wig to make it seem less floaty. Because in a real person's wig, you can actually do that and make the wig look a little more realistic. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Don't listen to me. I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe we can work with it. I won't know until I see it in person. You see all these questions I have, you guys. I just needed to vent these questions to you guys, because nobody understands my inner monologue like you guys do when it comes to doll issues, okay? If I sat here and told my husband, I'm sitting here contemplating all the stress I'm gonna be going through with these dolls, he would just be looking at me like, okay, well, when's dinner gonna be ready? As long as you don't stress yourself out of cooking dinner, have at it. You know, they just don't understand. Bruh. Also, I gotta laugh at myself about this. Remember when I was talking about this haircut and I was like, what the hell is this? Why is it short in the front and long in the back? I'm confused because when I saw the promos, I didn't think that this was 2 different lengths of hair. I really thought it was all long. To me, it all looked like it was one length, right? All the colors were just blending in. And so I was reading the description where it's talking about the wigs on the page, and I was like, what the freak is a dark brown hind cut? And so many of you guys in the comments was like, girl, that's a Japanese hairstyle. It's a hime. Is that how you pronounce it? So I was just sitting here like, oh my gosh, I'm so uneducated, but I ain't never said I was a hairdresser. Okay, do I look like a cosmetologist to you? Oh Lord, so I was just laughing at myself like, Gypsy, you stupid. But thank you to everybody who left a correction there and educated me, because I always end up learning something new from you guys in the comments, which is amazing. And I love that we have such an interactive relationship over here in our comment section. Everybody's always leaving great tips. Please, if you don't do anything else, even if you don't subscribe, go into the comment section and read what people say in my videos, because people be saying such really good things, all kinds of different like tricks and hacks and tips on how you can fix different things with your dolls. Just go in the comment section and take a look. Something else that really is like just weighing on my mind though is the box. And y'all know I'm not an inbox collector, so I almost never care about a box. It's all gonna end up being cardboard trash to me. But I'm just looking at this thinking, you know, we were talking about the lady from the revealed stream when she was discussing her plans for these dolls if she was to get her hands on them. And she kept saying that she was going to take one out and then leave the rest of them pristine in the box. And we were just like having a laugh because we were like, girl, do you know what this is? Because she's an inbox collector. And I'm sitting here like, these boxes are not even designed for that, you know? But that really had me thinking though, how much display quality do these boxes actually have though, right? Like if you look at the pictures, you can see that the dolls are hiding inside of a dark screened compartment. You can see through it a little bit, but they're shaded so that they're like tinted, so you can't really see any details. Look at this picture, y'all. This is the same 3 body types in here. Ain't no tall, ain't no curvy, ain't no difference, ain't no petite. But like the same head sculpt in here too. What is this? Is this even a real doll in there? What kind of picture is this? Did they Photoshop this? Because they look identical. Did they just do one picture and then they just like copied and pasted it over to all the other sides? Mattel, y'all couldn't even be bothered. Couldn't even be bothered. Oh my lord. Just why do I notice things like this? I don't know. So yeah, I wonder what's in each of these compartments. Shoes, accessories, tops, bottoms. Is that what that is? We gonna find out, you guys. We gonna find out. What can I do with this box? It looks big and bulky. When I saw the lady holding it up in the stream, it looked like the size of it was taking up half of her torso. So I'm sitting here like, what can we do with this box? I want to use everything this came with, because you best believe me, at $100 price point, you know the packaging is part of the price that they added into the cost of these dolls. But somewhere in that extra $25 price point, cost of the box is in there. So I'm like, let me get what I can get out of the box. This box looks like you could turn it into a little wardrobe maybe. Like once you remove the dolls from this compartment, it looks like you can pull it out there at the top. So is it like a drawer or is it just a little screen? Once you remove that part, the inside part, you could turn that into a box. Watch Froggy do this. Watch, y'all gonna see a video on Froggy's channel where she gonna turn this box into a little closet, and I predicted it. You can just throw in a little rod on the inside there and turn that into a little closet, and then the drawers are already built in. It's already sleek and black. The question is, are you gonna keep these flaps that are open to be able to open and close it, or are you gonna remove those parts? But I'm just saying, like, it has potential to be turned into a little closet. That might be a fun little side project to do with the box. That's a little exciting, but I'm just saying, like, if I pull those little drawers out where the dolls are hiding behind, and then I dress my dolls, how much space is there in there for you to actually pose your dolls inside the box as part of your display? You know, and then you could have a couple of dolls over here on the wings hanging out, a couple dolls on each side. That might be like a cool way to display your dolls and incorporate the box into it. So this is another another thing I'm thinking about. Like, bruh, can we turn the box itself into a backdrop? That'd be dope. Unfortunately, if you are someone who likes to collect your dolls in box. Wait, what? In this one, you can see that they have all different body types and head sculpts in here. Excuse you, Mattel. I feel some kind of way. Why did you guys not do all of this with the kit that I ordered? Excuse you. Where's the consistency, people? I do not like that. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta stop noticing things because nobody else cares, Gypsy. Only you. Nobody else gives a hot diggity damn about it. Why are you making a big fuss over this? If you are an inbox collector and you like to have your dolls secured inside of a box because you just like to display them that way, I'm wondering, can you somehow modify these boxes in such a way that you can do that? Can you like attach clear plastic in front of these windows and remove this tinted window after you've styled your doll? Permanently display them in there like that somehow and then still be able to get the inbox collector experience? You know, you still are gonna have to customize your doll, boo-boo. I'm sorry, you're not about to display your dolls like this. Can you imagine? But it might be a way for somebody who is an inbox doll collector to get the customizing experience a little bit, just to end up having the dolls trapped in the box anyway, if they could figure out a way to replace these barely see-through windows with some clear plastic wrap or something like that. I don't know how y'all be doing it, but I know there's a way to do it, you know? So if you don't mind getting a little bit crafty, maybe you could still have that experience with these. I'm just speculating, but it's an idea. I really feel some kind of way that you can see all three body types and faces in this one, but you couldn't with the other kit. Let me go look at number 3. Oh, they couldn't be bothered. They didn't even use the head sculpts from this actual kit with this one. They said, nah, we just gonna copy and paste kit number 1. Mattel, y'all got jokes. Y'all got jokes. Oh my gosh. I don't know if they expected people to even pay attention to something like this, but ma'ams and sirs, it is what it is. People like me are out here, okay? We be looking at all of these little details and getting stuck on them. So my prediction is that these dolls are not going to be very difficult to remove from the box. Hopefully they're not all T-tagged down to the boxes with all this plastic just holding them hostage. I really hope not, because if you want to keep this box as pristine as possible to reuse it for projects or display, it's going to be so annoying that the boxes get destroyed when we take them out, because it just looks like such a nice box. You are charging me for it, Mattel. And where are the stands hiding at? I don't see any compartments here where the doll stands would be able to go. Maybe in this really big one down at the bottom, maybe that's where the doll stands are hiding. But what about the actual like stick? Is that in there with the dolls? I'm very confused, and I don't like the way that they package doll stands into the boxes and the cardboard inserts. You almost always end up having to rip the cardboard to get the stands out. There's a way to do it without ripping it, but like, who's doing all of that? So if I have to rip parts of the packaging in order to take out the stands, that's gonna be so irritating. 3 doll stands included. Oh, they are included. Where are they hiding in this packaging? Are they on the back of the packaging? I'm very curious now. That is insane. Okay, well, we're gonna learn all of these things when we do the unboxing of these dolls as soon as I get them, you guys, because I am intrigued, trying to predict what to expect, because again, thank you, autism, I don't like surprises. I need to be mentally prepared for things so that I don't have a freaking meltdown when things are not as I expected, so I can prepare myself for the disappointment if something is not what it's presenting itself to be, I guess. The last thing on my mind about these dolls is the fact that so many people, I just know I gotta brace myself for even the comments on my own channel of people constantly comparing these dolls to the Barbie Basics, you know, the OG line. I'm trying to tell you, please listen to me, okay? Don't be fooled by the name of this line. Barbie Basics is what they're calling these dolls for the nostalgia of the people who liked the Barbie Basics dolls as an homage to the 25th anniversary of those dolls, okay? They're not really Barbie Basics dolls. I know it's confusing because they labeled it that way. Mattel is a company trying to make money. They don't care about our feelings. They just will exploit them and our emotions in order for them to make money off of us. They are a company. Their first priority is sales, sales, sales. They're not giving these dolls away to people for free unless you're some big influencer who they know for sure is gonna say nothing but good things about it. And even then, you only get one set of the dolls. You're not about to get duplicates and triplicates just because they want you to say nice things about the dolls. They're not really doing us any favors. They're trying to get our money. You cannot believe everything that they're saying. Just because they're calling it Barbie Basics doesn't mean that they're supposed to be the actual Barbie Basics line. That line will always be what it was, and there is no replacement for those dolls. Really and truly, the people who are upset that Barbie Looks has been canceled, y'all are really the ones that should be comparing these dolls to a previous line, which is the Barbie Looks line. These are just Barbie Looks dolls, but repackaged with removable heads. The Barbie Looks dolls, I feel like, were a good test collection to see how people interact with their dolls that have these features like made to move bodies, all different body types, all different skin tones, and all different and new head sculpts. Think of all the new head sculpts we got in the Barbie Looks line. The entire first wave was all brand new heads. They tested this idea on us with the Barbie Looks. You know, the customizability of these dolls and how far we will go to reroute the dolls, change up their body types, change up their hairstyles, repaint a lot of them. I think that's what inspired the design of these dolls being the way that they are. Barbie Basics, you create Barbie Basics, whatever, but they're just calling them Barbie Basics because they wanted to capitalize on the 25th anniversary nostalgia of that line. But truly, these dolls are designed more like the Barbie Looks. So if you were a fan of the Barbie Looks series, then this is like basically a new version of that with a different name. We gotta stop comparing these dolls to the Barbie Basics original dolls because they're not designed anything like them. They're not supposed to be anything like them. The most inspiration they got from that line, I feel like, is with the clothing, monochromatic, as basic as possible, and giving you a base to work off of to build the rest of the dolls look around. That's it. Like, even though these dolls come with all these different clothes, I don't even think the intention is to display them like this in all black. I think you're supposed to take one or two of the pieces and mix match them with things you already have in your wild, crazy Mattel brand Barbie fashion Skittles Rainbow Pop Explosion clothing that you already have, and you're just supposed to like incorporate these things into what you have to make the looks more elevated and sophisticated looking. That is the intention in my belief. We're gonna do some comparisons when I get these dolls with our Looks dolls so you guys can see what I'm talking about and how seamlessly I believe that these dolls will blend in with those dolls. I don't understand this constant comparison with the Barbie Basics dolls. These are clearly not those. Not even close, you know? I sure hope they come earlier in the day so that I have time to unbox them on camera with you guys and show you what I'm working with. Leave in the comment section right now if you guys have questions and specific things that you want to know about these dolls that you want me to show you when I take them out of the box. So now, real quick, let me just fill you guys in on some updates about the Aaliyah doll that have come to my attention. First of all, thank you so much to people in my comment section who have been giving me information that I'm reporting to you guys. So I have viewers telling me that some of them have been able to order the doll on Target's website and have them shipped to their house. Obviously, these are USA collectors because Target only is here in America. And again, I'm in America, so I don't know what's going on in the international markets when it comes to the Aaliyah doll, or really any Barbies for that matter, unless I hear something specific. Tell me in the comments if you're an international viewer and you see that the Aaliyah doll is still available somewhere in your region or online at the original $55 price point. Where's that at? Leave that in the comments because I do have international viewers who are always asking about that. At least here in America, I do also have some people saying that they randomly went to a Target store and just found her hanging out on a shelf. Like, she was just there in the Barbie doll section. Now, I don't know if they had tons of them there or if it was just like one, but they did find the doll in the store, completely random. And I did also have another viewer say they had the employee go and pull from the back a doll that was still inside the shipper, y'all. Like, what is you doing in the shipper still? That's so sus to me. Yo, I also have a viewer who works at Target, and that person said that in their store, I don't know what region they're in, the dolls were on clearance. Huh? Aaliyah dolls went on clearance after Black History Month was over. How did it go on clearance? Where was the doll hiding at in the first place for nobody to have bought the doll during the month and now it's out on clearance. I don't know where this person is, but it bet not be in like the middle of Mississippi somewhere where there's no black people at, because I swear, y'all, I told you guys so many times, Mattel loves to drive a narrative that black dolls don't sell as good as blonde hair, blue-eyed Barbie, and this is why we have a bajillion and a half millies staring at us like a crazy Barbie military inside our store shelves, and you have to go on a scavenger hunt to find your favorite deal in a darker skin tone, okay? I'm telling y'all, they be hiding the dolls. They will produce less quantities of the black dolls, only distribute them to places where there's a very small demographic of black people living, instead of sending them to like Atlanta or New York City or someplace in California. They just end up like in Wisconsin, in the middle of like a backwoods area. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on, Mattel? What is y'all doing even? Do you know who your audience is? How can these dolls be on clearance? It's mind-boggling. I don't even understand. I hope this employee who said that, I hope you saved them dolls. I hope you bought the dolls at least. How the hell did they last long enough to be on clearance if you're a doll collector and you work there? How many dolls they even had in the store? People barely even could find like 2 to 5 dolls in stock at any given store if they were able to find one in a Target store. What is happening in America? Y'all, this is such a conspiracy to me. Speaking of conspiracies, if you have to buy your dolls from a third-party site like eBay, you should be able to see that a lot of the dolls' prices have actually come down. Let's just look at buy it nows because we don't care about auctions. So when you look at the buy it nows, you'll see that they're not even 2 times the original price of the doll, and a lot of these have free delivery on them. This is a drastic change compared to what prices we were looking at when we first were hearing rumors about the dolls and when the doll first launched. These prices, in my view, are a little bit more reasonable if you just have no other way of getting a hold of this doll and you've got to have her in your collection. She's definitely one of your grails, I would say, and you have no other options. You can't go into a Target store and find her, which I still recommend that you do first. You can't find her on a website that's selling her at regular price, and Mattel's rinky-dink behinds don't relaunch this doll at some point, then now is the time to actually go and start looking for your Aaliyah dolls if you have to buy them third party. I'm only showing you guys what I see on eBay because eBay is what I mess with, but some of you guys are probably able to acquire this on other sites like maybe Mercari, or I don't know if people are selling this on Etsy or any other third-party websites. If the price is something similar to what we're seeing here, under $100, then I don't think it's unreasonable for people to add the doll to their collection. But even still, you saw as I was scrolling that the prices all vary. They're all very different from each other, and nobody's selling this at the exact same price. If you're gonna do that, get the cheapest one, because I'm telling you, they're all the same doll, okay? Ain't none of these dolls better or worse than the other. It's all the same. This is so hilarious to me. Like, scalpers are so dumb. This is what y'all get. They done went and bought up all these dolls, wasted their gas, going to all these different stores to buy all the dolls up. Now they got so many left on hand, they don't know what to do with. The hype has died down, as we already knew it would, and they can't charge you $250 for these dolls anymore, plus shipping. They had the audacity to make you pay shipping on top of the fact that they were trying to charge you over $200, and they don't got it like that no more to do. Look at all these listings, all these leftover dolls. And I told you guys, the price wasn't gonna go up. I said they're gonna come down, right? People who have been doing this for a while, we can see the trends. Sometimes it's hard to predict, but when you can predict, you usually end up being right. So this is great news if you're looking for this doll to add to your collection still. But they're not available on Amazon USA at all. Don't ask me why, ask Mattel why. They were available on Amazon in other countries like in Europe, but not here. Another thing I'm gonna just say before I end this video is, if you are a collector who is deciding whether or not you want dolls based on the hype you see in the doll community or how us influencers talk about dolls, please don't do that. Make up your own mind about whether you really need or want a doll in your collection and why you want that doll. If the main reason is because everyone else has it, that's like the worst reason to add a doll to your collection, honestly, because you're gonna end up wasting your money on something you don't really want or bond with, and then later you're gonna be like these weird scalper guys, end up having to give the doll away or sell the doll, which is a whole nother hassle in and of itself. Sometimes you barely recoup what you paid for the dolls, even if you do end up reselling them later. If you don't want the burden of just having a bunch of plastic junk piling up in your house when you could have saved that money and spent it on something you really actually want, that you're gonna cherish and enjoy, that maybe nobody else even has on their radar, but it's meaningful to you, that's more worth it to do that. Please understand that when people you see online are making video content like I do about dolls, or making posts on different social media platforms about dolls, they're just enthusiastic about those dolls for their own reasons. Yes, FOMO is real, and even influencers get affected by that. If Mattel contacts you and says, hey, I'm gonna send you a box filled with dolls, I'm just gonna send you the entire Fashionistas line for this year. But if they're gonna give them to you for free, just for the sake of having them, you're gonna accept the sponsorship. If you tell yourself, I'm gonna get more views on a video because I posted these dolls that I got for free from Mattel, then it's worth it to you to do that, because most content creators nowadays, they're not doing this for free. Like, we make money off of our videos. Even if the money is small, chump change, you can't pay your bills with it, you can still fund your doll collection with it. You understand what I'm trying to say, guys? They're benefiting monetarily from making the videos, and even if they don't make money from videos because maybe they're not monetized or they don't get enough views for that, you better believe it, there's an adrenaline rush that people get from being known in the doll community. Just having people come to them and ask them questions, wanting their advice, wanting their opinions, and treating them like they are important in the doll community. For a lot of people, that is a high, that is a reward in and of itself, because in our day-to-day regular life, we don't have friends that give a hot damn about dolls. Like, we can't talk about dolls with nobody. If you've got a community built up online and people are looking to you as some kind of a doll guru, yes, for a lot of people it's worth it to go and buy a bunch of dolls that they don't really even like that much, just because it's new, and talk about it on their channels, on their social media platforms. You need to understand to think critically when you're making decisions about what you're going to spend your hard-earned money on, that no one's going to recognize just because you went and bought these dolls. I'm not the kind of person who wants people to be like negatively influenced by my content. Please don't watch these videos on my channel seeing what I'm doing with my dolls and then telling yourself, oh, I need to have that doll because she has it. That's crazy. My enthusiasm for my dolls is because I actually genuinely like my dolls, and whether I got them for free or got them at discount or full price, I would have still spent the money on the dolls. I just wanted to throw that out there so that you guys are aware of what's going on behind the scenes in DollTube world, okay? Shamelessly, I'm gonna plug, if you're still looking for the first 5 models of the Barbie Basics dolls, then go ahead and follow my links. They will take you over to Walmart or Target, wherever you like to shop, and you can purchase them there, and that will give my channel a very small commission for introducing the links to you guys, and that's a way for y'all to support this channel without having to spend any extra money. So I really do appreciate everybody who's already been doing that. That's it for today. My name is Gypsy. We're gonna be exploring all kinds of features on these dolls, so if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you're subscribed to Broken Dolly TV, and I will see you pretty people in the next one. Have a dolly day.